Hey guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect. Today we're jumping back into some more Create Astral, and today we're going to be automating Electron Tubes. Hopefully you guys are ready. So starting off today, I do have a goal in mind. Some of the basic things that we needed to get processed needs to sort of get streamlined today, at least in some form or fashion. Where it may not be fully automated, we can at least semi-automate it. And I think that's going to be a good thing to do. Now, I do have those items listed here. We need electron tubes. If we can somehow make a system that we can just provide the items needed in a chest, and all of those items from that chest then get sorted to make them, that would be fantastic. So the electron tubes are one of those things where we need to make rose gold. And to make rose gold, that is a whole process in itself. And then polish rose quartz also needs to be sandpapered and all that fun stuff. So getting electron tubes are really important because these are used for just about everything. Like they're used for everything brass related, and it's very, very important. So that's definitely one of the things I want to get done today. Now, before that, I do want to get sand and gravel in here. So I do want sand and gravel to be sent to these storages. And that way I can make concrete down the road. Then we'll have everything we need to make concrete. And what I want to do is actually want to nab some of the gravel that ends up over here. Now, while I'm doing this, I do want to ask you guys a question. I've gotten a little bit of feedback while playing this, and I'm wondering, are you guys enjoying this mod pack? Are you enjoying this pack? Because I've gotten mixed signals. It seems like some people really, really enjoy it, and some people are like, meh, it's just Create, and there's not a lot of variety. And I completely understand both of those sentiments. So I just would love to hear back from you. Feedback is fantastic, and it helps me make decisions that I think are beneficial to this community. And I do like to make you guys happy. So just let me know. Let me know in the comments. I would really like to know. So with this setup, now I have my belts up and running. And I'm going to need way more brass funnels than this. And I don't remember if I have significantly more. I do have 5. Okay, so I have a few. So these are going to need to go up here. I should put some boots on that to help me. But we need to put these here. So this is going to be where it gets divided up. And then that's perfectly fine. We need the millstone, however. We can put that right here if this is going to be sand. And then we'll set our funnel up, and then we do need to get we need this set up. We can put that in the middle, connected to this. Perfect. I feel like I'm getting a lot better with this mod though. Like I'm learning strategies that really benefit, in my opinion. Like I feel like this is just working out. And I'm having a blast at this point. Like I now have the tools available, and like once we get even more stuff unlocked, that would be fantastic. It looks like I'm out of brass funnels. So there's that. Okay. And then we have our brass tunnels. Now I don't have this set up yet. Let's go ahead and get the funnels made up. And we're going to have a funnel on here, a funnel on the other side, 2 funnels here. And then we also need a filter. And then we also need to make sure this is in the proper mode. So right now this is when multiple outputs are available, split. And that is what I want. I actually want it to split the multiple outputs, which should be perfect. And I think that is it. Yeah, it shouldn't send items out here. Or at least I hope not. There shouldn't be any items coming out of this. Just to even verify, we'll just put a filter there and make sure there's nothing coming out of that. Now, I want to still preface this because I know that a lot of you guys may be struggling with this. When it comes to the crude storages or even basic storage units, don't think that you can't use crude storages in place of these basics. I've just farmed a few of them, so I have them laying around. But to get the funnel or the funnels to work, or filters to work, right? Filters, funnels. Oh my gosh, so many different names. But to get them to work on the back, you do have to configure the in slot and make sure you have at least auto input enabled, and make sure you have that selected. Otherwise, the funnels will not work with this. So even if you have the item in there, it will not for some reason automatically send the items in. It is kind of broken in that sense. But I guess it helps it work as a filter, right? So there are some benefits of it. So that's there. These belts move so fast. It's kind of crazy. So those should go right in, right? That should be perfect. We don't want that on top. We want this on the side. There we go. That's going to go in. That's going to come out. And that'll have everything ready to go, right? I think that should be it. Now, the only thing we have left to do is to get our tunnels. And I think that's it. So let's go ahead and grab those. I put them in one of these chests. There they are. It's like inventory management in this is pretty rough. And later on it'll be better, but for right now it is pretty rough. So this one I want to split the stack as well. So this should split the stack and end up going down there the same. So hopefully we'll be able to see that soon. But this should be functional. This should be 100% functional. Because we have this working in stacks, we should now be sending our gravel along. And everything's working well. And by the way, we're generating a ton of stress now. So, like, we may be able to get away with, like, using 2 of these. Like, even at this speed, we could drag this setup over to the other side and have this running over there. I feel like there's so much stress being generated here. And like on this setup, like I've barely even tapped into any of this stress. Now on this setup, I just realized that this actually only produces what seems to be 25% on sand. So it's actually only has a 25% to produce sand, which is pretty low. But I was looking and this is a 100% chance to produce sand. So I'm thinking instead of using this, I'm going to actually switch this to, yeah, going with the large crushing wheels. Now, I thought this process was going to be a little bit simpler, but it turned into just a belt mess. So I have the belt running up here now, and that runs it back into this line because this is going to be producing flint and clay as well. Like that's a bonus here. So if we take a look at the gravel, right, when it's crushed, it's going to produce that flint and clay balls. So I needed it to go back into our clay route and our flint route so that way it can be filtered, which meant I need to flip this and we need sand over here, right? Because sand is going to be crushed right here and then the excess sand is going to run out onto the side. So let me grab some sand, and these are going to need to be flipped around, by the way. So sand can go in this filter, and that means everything else will get sent on the other belt, like onto the other belt. Or at least it should, right? That this side is open. Yes. So everything else should be sent over there. This side should only, these are really nice for filtering that way, cross belts. Ignore what I have in these filters. But yeah, these are going to have to be unlocked and swapped out. So gravel goes in there, lock, and then sand goes in here, lock. Okay, good. Okay, so now we're just about ready to go. Let's take these filters out. That's gonna all get thrown away. I probably should have left that filter in for right now. Put a filter back in there. This is gravel, so I can leave that open. That just threw that gravel all over here. I have no idea where that even went. Oh, it's right here. So I don't want to waste anything. Let's toss that. That should get routed there. Perfect. Okay. So the only thing left to do is to place in our crushing wheels here. Thankfully, if you run this right on a belt, it's like perfect. It's like magic. These gearboxes, vertical gearboxes on the side, they just know exactly where to go. So that's fantastic. Now, the only other thing is jumping in between here is very dangerous, but I think this is ready to be unfiltered. So with that unfiltered, it should split stack, and we should now start to see the products just route around. I guess we can throw in some gravel to test out. All of this work for a gravel gen. So we toss that in there. As you can see, that rolls in. We should see some byproducts potentially. There went the sand. And we're good to go. Okay. So now we're evenly spacing everything. And that's just what I want to see. So with that all out of the way, let's think about how we're actually going to make these electron tubes and how I want to set up this sort of semi-automation for this. And I was thinking, so we have ourselves these seared melters, right? And what I can do is I can just set up a couple of these, right? And we can actually lock the materials so we know what needs to go in here. For example, charcoal needs to be on both of these. And so this actually makes it kind of nice. We can lock that, lock this, and then we can go ahead and define and say, make sure to auto output into the back. And so we should be able to auto output into the back, and that should go into here, or will it not? Will it not automatically push? Let's check this out. Let's check out the inputs as well. The back. Oh wait, I think that's right. These actually need to be orange. So there we go. We have to just make sure that the out is defined as orange, because I haven't done an output in a while. And there we go. So anytime we put charcoal in there, we'll know that we have an abundant supply and it's working. Now on the top is going to be sort of the same thing. We're going to need gold, and we're also going to need copper, right? Gold and copper. And we'll keep these in mind, right? Because this is just how this is going to be formatted for me. I really like visual things, and this is very, very visual to me. Now, it doesn't matter which side goes where, so I'm just going to put them in for right now so we have a visual. And then on the back, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use tanks. I'm going to use these basic tanks, and instead, we're going to forego these mechanical pumps, and instead, we are going to go about this. So this will save us a little bit of stress doing it this way. So we'll have the basin right here. And this is all going to be done back here, by the way. So the basin is going to go here, and we'll make sure on our pump we'll have the input on the face, right? And then we'll have the output on these going to the right. And then, of course, Control O to get rid of the JEI there. And make sure the orange is set there. So that's going to pump there. This is going to pump. And I know all this is incredibly repetitive. That is the one thing with this mod pack so far that I have found is it's just incredibly repetitive. You're doing the same things over and over again, which, you know, some may like, some may not. You know, I'm trying to get through it, and I'm also learning along the way. So doing these things repetitively also kind of sticks it in my brain and goes, hey, you know what? This is a learning experience, right? So there we go. So now we have our smart fluid pipe, and then wherever we plan on hooking our pipes to feed this, which is going to end up going into, I'm actually going to put this into a tank. I think this is a good idea to put this into a tank. Rose, do I have any quartz? Oh, that's another thing I should probably automate as well. Like, we don't have nether quartz automated yet, and that is something that we could split. I know we're not going to be able to do it here, but it would be a good idea to later on definitely split up some of this sand to turn into quartz, and maybe have an area for that. I should have done that. We're running out of space on this side, so this is going to have to happen over here, I guess. But anyways, I digress. It'd actually be a perfect place to have quartz automated, which would be over here. So with that out of the way, that's going to run here, and then we're going to pipe that in. Now, we also need to belt out a couple of other ingredients for this, right? Because I also want to have this sort of fully automated. I just want to give it these resources, right? I want to give it Rose Quartz, which I can craft, right? I want to give it just the Rose Quartz and just send it on its way. So Rose Quartz, it's going to then polish, which we need to set up. So we're going to need a deployer to do that with some, I think we can make diamond sandpaper. And then we just need to set it through to make the electron tubes. And then, yeah, which is this setup. This should be doable. Now, this is going to be the input side. I always say left is input, right will be our product. And so immediately we can go ahead and press this with a deployer with that sandpaper. Now, I don't know how expensive the diamond sandpaper is. Hopefully it's not too bad. Let's take a look. Diamond sandpaper. So it's just diamond dust. Oh, diamond dust has to be made inside of a grinder from Tech Reborn, which means we would have to get into that. So I guess I'll just end up using just sandpaper for right now with a crude storage. I don't know how many of these a crude storage can hold, but hopefully it can hold a good amount. And we can just have a crude storage placed next to this. And that crude storage can then provide all of this, right? So yeah, how many of these will it hold? Will it hold stacks amounts? It looks like it just took all of the... Okay. So it says there's 2 in there. I wonder how the stack... It says a % used. So will it... Oh, does this just hold that many items? Because that would be fantastic. Well, if that's the case, that just made that a lot easier. Okay, so we'll just put regular sandpaper in there, and then I'll just make sure the output auto outputs to the back. Like that. Right? And then that's going to put sandpaper. That should put sandpaper in this thing's hand. Should. Yeah, we only have 1 now. Because the other one went here. Okay, so that's done. We just need to get a funnel that pulls the item out. And I think for this, a regular funnel, just a single funnel, is going to work. We want to kind of have 1 item going at a time on this belt. Now, this belt then will wrap around because we're going to be connected to this. And we want this all to head into this container, right? We want it to go here. I'm going to grab another spout. I'm going to just set up this same setup, but elsewhere. Because I actually need to... Actually, let me go ahead and just drain the rest of this. So yeah, this is going to end up this is going to be very, very compact from the way I'm looking at things here. Yeah, this should be a pretty compact setup. I'm just thinking, how am I going to spin this right here? That's the only thing that is going to change up the way this works. But I was thinking barrel right here. And then if I grab my belts... looks like I'm gonna have to craft a few more. I should be able to extend this, and I have my dropper right there. And then we just put funnels. So funnels are right here. So we'll have this pulling in, and that'll be a buffer chest, and then that pulls out onto the belt. And then that fits in, and then that processes here. And then we can grab the pipe and have the pipe routed around. And this should work out pretty well. And this is a pretty tight space that this is in. Now, we do need the pipes. I don't know if I have any pipes laying around. We have 15 pipes. So I'm trying to think how I'm going to set this thing up. And I'm sort of trying to do all this on the fly. And it seems like it is working out pretty good. So right here, we'll throw that in. I could go underneath as well. And then I would have a cog to have to power in the front though. So I still need a cog that is going to have to be powered in this setup somewhere. We're going to have a pump. And so I am going to have a cog here as well. Boy, oh boy, the cog madness has begun. So that's going to have to go here. I can fit a gearbox down below. And that's going to be what has to change. So vertical gearbox will go here. And then shafts will line everything up. You know, this is really starting to come together. Yeah, look, so that's hooked there. And then in the back, this is where we'll have the pump. We can go ahead and put the pump right here. And we'll make a pump real quick. So pump. Right, and it doesn't really matter the direction right now. We'll assign that soon. And then we'll just have another gearbox here. Now, I am going to have to route and figure out how to get my belts moving. But outside of that, this is a pretty compact setup. Pretty compact. Hopefully it's not confusing to look at. I know it could be kind of confusing to look at. It's almost like a work of art, though. Some of these things look so good when they're put together. Now, the only thing, once we get one side, we're going to put a gearbox in between. But outside of that, this should be up and running. Okay. So, yes, gearbox is going to have to go right here because the rotational power, we're going to have to convert that. And it looks like I am out of gearboxes again. Man, I'm always running out of gearboxes. Now, I already know because I want these rotating different directions, I need to put a gearbox in between here. And then this also needs to be powered, which is going to be a thing. So you know what? Moving the whole gearing setup will actually benefit this a little bit. And I'm hoping this all spins in the right direction. Like we'll just rotate the other direction if that's the case. But to get the belt spinning, there we go. Vertical. Make another vertical. There we go. And that goes here. And then this is going to need a vertical as well. So there's that. And perfect. And then we just connect the dots. And wouldn't you know it, we have power. Now all I have to do is tap in. So we are going to be tapping in to our current power grid and just running this along. It's crazy how expensive this is, like once you get the rotational speed going. I know we could definitely slow this down. It doesn't have to be as fast, so we might end up doing that with a speed controller sooner than later. But right here, that's in, and then I'm out of shafts, but other than that, bad boy is just about ready to be turned on just by hooking that together. Now for some last minute tweakage, we just need to put a trapdoor here just in case of overflow. I do need to rotate this. The belt is, I believe, spinning in the right direction. Yeah, it's going the right direction. The other side is going the appropriate direction as well. That is hooked in. Okay, I think everything is up and running and ready to test out. So the only thing I'm going to have to do is set these up, right? So we need this gold and we need the outputs going. So output, turn this on and make sure to output into the smelter. And then also output into the smelter. And hope that this actually functions and puts this in. I don't have the filter set, so I probably should do that. That's the only thing, like rose gold is what's going to be made. And we can actually use a regular filter for this, and I think we can use a filter inside the other one as well. So rose gold, and we can use a bucket in the filter. Allow list, bucket in the filter, allow list. And hopefully apply these to the two parts. So does this accept the filter? There it goes. And this should be a recipe filter. And then that should be functioning. And that should be filling. This is full. And that has not pulled the fluids out. Do I have the inputs set up? Output is set up. And same on this side. It should be going in there. But it doesn't seem to be. And I'm pretty sure it did work over here. Oh, I'm such a dork. It has a fluid configuration that I forgot about. Ah, that's right. So this is the input, right? That it's pulling from. Let's go ahead and disable all of these. Input. And then we have to configure the output. Aha. Aha. And let's hope that we didn't break it. We should have done this before putting the fluids in. Input. Output. Right? Input, output. It shouldn't overflow. It should be working. There's a little bit of molten gold in there. Because I didn't configure the right side because it's inputting to the back. This needs to be off. Oh boy, there's fluids in here. I'm afraid it's actually going to break this. Yeah, it needs to go to this side, and then this needs to go to this side. There we go. Right? Oh my gosh. That should work. I might have to break this and redo. But other than that, it should be working. Did something pick that up? Oh no! All the stuff that apparently picked it up. Oh, that's right. I think I put these on differently. So, I think I put these on from the back. Didn't I? Instead of, yeah, on the face. So it actually needs to be configured differently. Oh my goodness. It's so confusing. So the back is the input. Let's configure the output first. Guess it really doesn't matter. This is actually the input. So now it's going to be working. And then same for this. This is the input, and this is the output. There we go. So this should be sending... Oh, I put this in wrong, didn't I? That should be sending into that. Okay, now they're both running. Man, all that confusion for nothing. Oh, goodness. And then that should be piped out and should end up in there. And we, as you can see, we have the rose gold. And there's fluid that's in this pipe. Or I guess would have been in this pipe, is currently not. Was that really all that it produced? I feel like an awfully low amount. But there we go. So we just have to make sure that we have gold in here and all that stuff is working. And this is our input chest and our output chest. And after that, we should be good to put this in. So we put this in. That does its thing. And we get electron tubes as an output. Whew! I can now wipe the sweat off my brow. Well, guys, with that, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you learned a little bit as well, as I am definitely learning. And, I mean, it's looking like, I mean, really, look how compact this setup is. This is actually something that, I mean, expanded for me quite a distance to have all of that working. And now we have it nice and compact in a little tiny space. So I feel like I'm coming a long ways as far as coming up with these nice compact setups. And I am going for a style. As you can see all the way over here, I am going for this sort of input-output style. I hope it works. This may not be the most functional later on, but I don't know. It's going to work for now, and it's aesthetically pleasing to my eyes. So I'm really, really enjoying this. And I hope you guys are as well. Guys, of course, if you did enjoy, please give this video a huge like and click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Guys, I thank you so much for watching. Like I said, leave a comment down below what you're thinking of, what your thoughts are on this mod pack so far, as I would love to hear from you guys. And of course, it is time to thank the supporter of today's video. And that huge thanks, thank you so much for the support, by the way, is going to DAD Diesel. Thank you so much for your amazing, amazing support. And of course, guys, if you're interested in joining the community over on Discord, be sure to check that out. And there is a way to support over there if that's something you're maybe looking into. There's also a way you can do that here on YouTube as well with the members button, but be sure to join the Discord as well, as everything happens via our amazing Discord of over 26,000 members. That is no small feat and no small number, so be sure to join the community if you're looking for some support of any kind. We have amazing people over there who's always willing to help you out, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. Like, this community is beautiful, and I appreciate you guys very much. So I will hopefully see you over on the Discord, as I do hang out all the time over in voice chat. And if I don't see you there, I'll see you in the next episode. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.